Hey everybody, it's Miasma from Gyre Media, and today we're going to be talking about the anime series Black Lagoon. Now, once in a while, an anime series will come along for me that really snaps me out of a funk of only watching a couple episodes at once, getting kind of bored with it, trying to move on to like another series, or I'm like this with like every medium, I would say. Like I can't watch like a ton of movies at once, I can't play a bunch of video games at once. It's just I have to change it up once in a while. But a series like Black Lagoon, where it is action, balls to the walls, craziness going on with incredibly interesting characters, I kind of have to, stay glued to the television when I'm watching it. Now, it's just one of those shows that I feel like you kind of have to binge watch. I know this would kind of suck watching it every week, just because the adventures that the characters go on are just crazy. The basic story here is it's about modern day pirates. And our lead character, Rokujo, was a Japanese businessman, and the ship that he's on gets attacked by these modern-day pirates. And it turns out that his company doesn't really care about him nearly as much as, keeping their face in their industry. And, they kind of just write him off. They say, you're going to be kind of dead to us, and you're, pretty much dead to everybody back here in Japan. So he's kind of stuck living with these modern day pirates who don't kill him and kind of take him in and utilize his skill. He's very personable. He's a very good negotiator. He's very intelligent. And he tries very hardly to hold on to his ideals that he has from back home as he sort of delves into this heart of darkness that is this modern day pirate world in the dark city known as Roanipur, where they live. The rest of the story is basically, they call him Rock. Rookja just goes by Rock within the company. Rock goes on various sort of crazy adventures with this modern-day pirate crew, which consists of Dutch, who is the captain of the ship, Benny, who's kind of like the technical expert. He has like all the radar and all the computer stuff inside the ship, and Revy, who is probably the most iconic person from the show because, she's on the logo over here and, she's on the covers of the manga and everything. And if you've heard of Black Lagoon, you probably heard of Revy. Probably no surprise there. But she is the gun-wielding, crazy muscle of the team, I guess. And she's really foul-mouthed and she's really funny and she's just crazy all the time. She just loves shooting and gets solid enjoyment out of killing people. It's just really fun to watch, and there's not a lot of anime characters like her. I've never heard more swears in an anime than I have in Black Lagoon. So I guess be prepared for that. And a lot of the show is Rock kind of coming to this reality that the world is not as pretty and bright as he imagined it. There's a lot of darkness in the world. The series does get really quite dark at some points, and it doesn't do a whole lot to like uplift you out of it. It's kind of just like, well, this is like reality in a crappy place like Roanipur. Like crime happens here, murder happens here. This all happens, and it's probably going to continue happening. It's just a matter of how you're going to survive in a place like this. And I give the series credit for that. I don't think it's like a defeatist mentality really, but it's just kind of you kind of have to adapt to the situation that you're in. Similar to the series Jormungand. A lot of people compare these two series very often, which is why I kind of watched them both in a row, and I enjoyed them both. What's really great about both of them, and get back to Black Lagoon more so, are the characters here. Rock is really cool. Rock is, like I said, he's intelligent, and I love how he tries to hold on to like his status back home. He tries to wear like shirt and tie and stuff like that, even though he's doing these like crazy like gun deals and drug deals and just craziness that's going around all around him. And he tries to hold on to the person that he was, which I give him some credit for. It doesn't really work out for him all the time, but he's still confident that he can do kind of what he wants to do. Revy, as I said, is insane. She's just so fun to watch. All the swears, she's nasty with her dual pistols and can wipe out a room in a second. In fact, this series is loaded with badass characters. A lot of them are like side characters. There's one whose name is Roberta, And Roberta's a maid, and I don't want to spoil too much, but she's not a typical maid. And she gets her own episode in the series, or two, and then she gets a follow-up OVA after this, Roberta's Blood Trail, which I also recommend checking out. And she's just badass. The show just bleeds badass characters. Like I said, the action is all over the place. Almost every episode, something's getting blown up, or shot, or particularly there's a bar, the Yellow Flag, I think it's called, in the city of Roanipur that is just, it seems like it's just a magnet for bullets. And the poor guy that owns it, it's like a recurring joke that every time he rebuilds it, it just gets destroyed. And it was so interesting. In Roanipur, there's several different, like mafia, mafia groups. So there's like the Chinese Triad, there is like Italian Mafia, there's Russian Mafia, it's place called Hotel Moscow, which plays a very large role within the series. And the Lagoon Company, as these like modern day like pirates, they carry cargo around and stuff like that, but they don't really have an allegiance to anyone in particular. They kind of work for whoever can pay the check. And I found that like really interesting, how they were just kind of like, we're just here for anybody that wants to hire us. There's even a church involved that is not just a church. Again, I don't want to spoil a lot of stuff, but there's more than people praying going on in that church. The dub of this series is exquisite, as is a lot of the music. Brad Swale from Death Note is the main character, Rock, in this. He was Light Yagami, or Kira, in Death Note, and it's hard when you hear... See, I had seen Death Note first. I know this series came out first, but I had seen Death Note first, and it's hard for me to hear his voice now without picturing Light, but he does a very good job. And the rest of the cast did a really good job with all the swearing and stuff going on. I'm sure they had a whole lot of fun doing this dub. I only watched the dub audio. I can't tell you how good the sub is, but it is one of the best dubs that I have heard. All the characters pretty much match, the way they appear. Nobody really felt sounded uncomfortable within a certain role. And I thought it was a really good dub all around. The opening theme song is also very good. It's definitely one of my favorites of all time. It's action-packed. It gets you really pumped for the series that you're about to watch. As for my main issues here, it is an ongoing manga, and the manga actually just started picking up by, again, I believe a few weeks back, but it's been going on for years, and as such, I would not go into the series expecting a very closed ending. It is pretty open, and even with the follow-up OVA that came out years later, it doesn't provide a whole lot of closure, although it is not a bad place for the series to stop. I will say that. Where it is, you're not going to be like, it's not a cliffhanger. It's just kind of, there's a status quo that's, kind of there. And a lot of stuff does happen in the series that keeps you gripped. It's not a boring ending, but it's not the ending that I would have liked, and I feel like some people might feel the same. Perhaps maybe they'll adapt some more of the manga in the future and we'll actually get a really good ending out of this. Another thing is that, as cool as the characters are, they're not equally developed. So, as I mentioned, there's two other members of the Lagoon Company. Dutch, who is the leader, the captain of the ship, and Benny, who's the technical advisor guy. Both of these characters were somewhat interesting, and they delve into their backgrounds very little, if not nearly none at all. And I would have liked to see maybe just one episode or two of each character, getting their own backstory and stuff like that. And there's even some more mafia members within Roanipur, these infamous criminals who sound like they have really cool past, and I'd like to know a little more about it, but they don't delve into that equally either. And I feel like that could have been done as well. But all around, I really liked Black Lagoon. I highly recommend that you buy it if possible. You can actually buy seasons 1 and 2 in one Blu-ray set, which I did, and then make sure you watch that follow-up OVA, Black Lagoon, Roberta's Blood Trail, because it offers a couple more episodes of the series and some more story into one of the side characters. And it's more Black Lagoon, which isn't a bad thing. And hopefully we'll get some more of it in the future. But let me know down below what you guys thought about Black Lagoon. Did you find it, kind of repetitive and boring, or did you find it like me, where it was just like, man, this is so gripping. There's so much action going on. There's so much swearing. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and I'll see you next time.